Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So in this video, I'm going to talk about something I have spoken about before, and that is taking emotional responsibility for how we're feeling and talking from a place of vulnerability rather than from a place of trigger. So I've unlocked a little piece of the puzzle since yesterday, and so that's why I'm going to expand on that concept. Um, for those who haven't watched the previous video, I will explain the whole thing basically. So if we are feeling triggered by somebody, if we feel that somebody has done something to hurt us or said something to hurt us, and we want to have a conversation with the person, or we want to resolve that, we want to find a way to resolve that. There are multiple ways to resolve that, right? One way is to simply just not talk to the person ever again and just walk away, vote with our feet, which is important as well, which in some cases we do need to do, because we can see that that person is not going to be receptive or not going to be able to. We need to be careful though, because sometimes people may be receptive and we may think they're not receptive because we are afraid of having that conversation and we're not able to see the truth of whether they're actually going to be receptive or not. But in some cases, it is true. The person is not going to be receptive, or you may have tried to talk to the person before and the person hasn't been able to receive it, or you may not have enough consciousness to be able to talk in a very effective way as well. And so it's okay in that case to walk away. Now, the next situation is when you actually do want to talk to the person. How do you talk to the person? How do you approach the person? And this is where true vulnerability comes in. And that is to talk from a place of emotional responsibility versus talking from a place of trigger. Instead of saying, you did this, you are such a horrible person, and how could you do something like that to me? Like that's one way of going about it. But that is not going to get you anywhere. Ever. It's never going to get you anywhere. The person is not going to understand. It just doesn't work. If somebody says things like that to you, you're not going to understand. You're going to become defensive. So you're going to trigger the defensive instinct in the person, or the person who speaks like that to you will trigger the defensive instinct in you, and you're not communicating. Or maybe the person might still be able to get it at some point, but you're not communicating. This is not communication. But what you're doing is you're disrespecting the other person and you're disrespecting yourself. Now, this is a piece of the puzzle that I got a few weeks ago. You're not only disrespecting the other person. First of all, you are disrespecting the other person, you're not only disrespecting the other person, you're disrespecting yourself. You can say that I choose to not do things like that. I choose to not communicate like that. I choose to not hurt people in that way. I am making this choice. Okay, so that's one piece of the puzzle, that you, by speaking out in a way that's derogatory to the person, or how could you do that? Or the worst thing you can say is like, you're not a man, or you're not whatever, or like, you're a horrible human being, or what. That's just horrible. And I've done that. I am so guilty of having done that so much in my life. Oh, okay. Horrific. And what's more is that I felt bad that if I would speak like that, people would just leave. I felt that people are hurting me. They're doing all kinds of things to hurt me, and I am always the one who has to be right, right, who has to be good all the time. I have to be the one who is perfect, behaved perfectly, because the moment I get triggered and I say something, people leave, but they themselves can say whatever they want and they can do whatever they want and they get away scot-free, and I accept it and I hold it and I'm able. So I had just so much rebellion about that earlier. And then I realized that this is the false ego wanting expression. This is the false ego saying, I want to be able to hurt other people because other people are hurting me. And relationships do not work like that. They just do not. You have to take responsibility for your own thing, not for the other person. You hurting the other person is not in any way, shape, or form going to help you yourself. You hurting the other person is only going to hurt you. You are going to feel bad when you hurt somebody else. More than their hurt, you will be hurt more than that. You will increase that covering that we have. You will lower your consciousness and you will be hurting yourself further. So it's not, yeah, okay, so that's another piece of the puzzle. It's not only about respecting yourself, it's about healing yourself and raising your own level of consciousness by not hurting the other person, or by being very, very emotionally responsible. You are, and being vulnerable, truly vulnerable, feminine vulnerable. You are protecting, you are helping raise your own consciousness. You're becoming a better person for yourself, and you're feeling better about yourself. So in that moment, that ego will be satisfied if you hurt the other person, and it is satisfied. You can feel that ego being satisfied, like, okay, I hurt the other person, I'm good. You I don't know if you've noticed that, but you will feel it sometimes, like, yes, now I've achieved it, I've hurt the other person as well. It is going to be a satisfaction that is going to last one split moment, and then you will feel bad, and it will go inside your body, and it will live in your body. That guilt is going to live in your body. It is not worth it. That momentary ego satisfaction is not worth feeling the shame that you're going to feel afterwards. Whether you recognize it or not, you are going to feel it. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is, when you are wanting to talk, how do you vulnerably talk? What does that look like? That looks like saying, I am feeling hurt about something right now, and I know that this is where I'm at. This is my current level of consciousness, and this is where I'm at. And I know that your intention is not to hurt me. I know that you care about me. I know that you're a good person. It's not even that. And I'm very afraid of saying this to you because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to create any hurt in you. And I don't want to create pain. The reason I'm doing this is not to create pain. It's to help you understand how I'm feeling. That's it. And I don't know what the solution is going to be, and I'm going to continue to figure out, but this is just what I'm feeling. So we're sharing our heart with the person, and we're taking responsibility that this is how I'm feeling, and I'm going to continue to work on how I'm feeling. And I trust that you are a good person. I know that you are a good person. And this is true for everyone. You can speak like that even if you don't trust the person at all. You can trust that deep inside they are good people, right? They're not, nobody's, I mean, maybe some people are actually out trying to hurt you, but for the most part, people are not actually out trying to hurt you. And even if somebody is actually trying to hurt you, it's the same thing as you wanting to hurt them because you're feeling hurt. So it's just that same thing. They're feeling hurt, so they're wanting to hurt you in that moment. But you know that that's not them, and you know that they're going to feel shame, even if they don't realize that they're going to feel shame. They are going to feel shame. So they're going to feel bad about hurting you. Same way as you might be holding on right now, like, oh, this person hurt me so much, I want to hurt the person. So if you have that understanding for other people, that they are fundamentally good, even if they're trying to hurt you, or even if they're not trying to hurt you but they're hurting you by mistake, either way they're fundamentally good people, then you can have this conversation with them with that respect. Respect everyone the way you respect the person you respect the most. So respect them and say, I know that you want to be good. I know that you are a good person, and I know that you're having a moment of weakness, and I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to add to the pain that you're feeling right now, which is causing you to create the pain in me right now. I don't want to hurt you. And more than that, you can say this to the person, that I don't want to. So then depends on where you are in the journey. And so there's been something I've been struggling with for months, and I've not been able to say anything because I feel like I'm not at a good place to be able to say it. I'm not at a place where I can speak with total emotional maturity, emotional responsibility, and vulnerability. I feel like I'm going to get angry. So I've not been speaking. So what I'm saying instead is that I know that I'm not there. I know that I'm not ready to speak about it, but there is something that has been bothering me. And if you are feeling that some kind of subconscious distance from me, it's probably because of that, because I'm holding on to something that's hurting me. And I'm not going to speak to you unless I feel that I can speak from a place of love rather than from a place of anger and judgment. I want to get to a place where I can speak. I want to speak to you, but I want to speak from a place of love. And I want to speak from a place of trust that you know that that you love me, that I'm that I trust that you love me, that you have love for me, depending on like, even not, I don't mean love me as like in a romantic way. I mean like as a human being loving another human being. So yeah. So you can say things like that to the person and say, okay, there is something I'm dealing with. So that is you being vulnerable at the level that you are and taking responsibility, full responsibility. And oh, okay. So then yes, the another piece of the puzzle. There's lots of pieces of the puzzle here. It's so good. Okay, so I heard somebody speak about this, and this is a very, very basic personal growth concept, which I thought I knew. I thought I had realized knowledge, not just intellectual knowledge about this. And I realized I didn't, because I just heard it recently and I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, I know that. I obviously, this is so basic, I know that. And it just hit deeper, and I'm going to help you get deeper with that as well now. The concept is the thoughts that we have or the emotions that we have are going to come. We do not have control over that. We absolutely do not have a control over what thoughts come into our head. What we do have control over is how we choose to respond to it. This is where we can get to the next level of self-acceptance and self-love. We feel shame because we got those thoughts. We feel shame because we got those emotions. We feel shame because we got this emotion of like, this ego coming up, and this emotion of like, I want to hurt that person, or we feel so much shame around the word envy. We do not want, this is one of the hardest emotions for us to accept within ourselves. So we feel shame when we feel anger, when we feel envy, when we feel like all of those things. We feel shame. We don't, but the reason we feel shame is because we think that we can control all of that, or we should be at a higher consciousness level, or whatever. But the fact is that we don't have control over these thoughts or emotions. They are going to come when they come. But how fast we work through them, how we choose to respond to them, that is in our control. So once we understand that, then we stop feeling this shame, because it's okay. These thoughts are going to come. We are human beings. We have these like 30 miles of coverings in front of in our soul. So we are going to feel all of those emotions. They are going to come to us, and we do not need to feel any shame around that. That's normal. What we do, what we have in our control, is how we choose to respond to it. And how we choose to respond to it, how we can choose to respond to it, is with responsibility, emotional responsibility, and vulnerability. That's what I like. I like the phrase emotional responsibility, where we're saying, yes, I am feeling this. I want to be able to express this to you from a place of love. I want to be able to express this to you from a place of trusting that you're a good person, from a place of respect. And I want to be able to work through it in a peaceful, calm way, where I'm respecting myself as well as you. So that is our choice. That is how we can build real relationships with someone else. Okay, yes, that's it for this video. I hope all these puzzle pieces helped. Wish you a day filled with personal spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.